Hello and welcome to this Moss LED tutorial video. I'm Jeff Moss. Today I'm going to be explaining to you the Cinque LED dimmer. We'll go through the menus and we'll also show you how to wire it. What is the Cinque LED dimmer? It is a 5-channel DMX decoder. It takes in standard DMX 512 signal to control 5 dimmable channels of LED. This means you can control red, green, blue, cool white, and warm white, or any combination of 5 LEDs individually. It truly has a powerful feature set. It has 8-bit and 16-bit resolution modes, as well as output PWM frequency adjustable settings from 500 Hz all the way to 30 kHz. There is also a gamma curve which adjusts the dimming curve of the unit, so you can have an extremely high resolution low end or an extremely high resolution high end. There are 3 ways you can connect the DMX signal. There are a 5-pin XLR in and out, RJ45 in and out, as well as bare wire in and out Phoenix connections. The power in and LED output are connected through a 10-pole terminal block connector. Starting from the bottom, you have 2 connections for the negative DC input voltage, 2 connections for the positive DC input voltage. This is designed to be able to take in the larger power supplies and works well with our 600 watt and 320 watt power supply. Next, we have the common connection of the LEDs. This is the plus sign marked on the flex LED strip. It is then followed by channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, and channel 5. In our example, this is red, green, blue, cool white, and warm white. You do not have to wire the LEDs in this order, but this is the way that we wire it. To select an appropriate size power supply, you must first determine how much LED you want to power off of one controller. All of our flex LED tape has a wattage per meter rating. In this video, we are using our new RGB plus cool white plus warm white flex LED tape. This flex LED strip is rated at 43.2 watts per meter, and we have 1 meter, which equals 43.2 watts. We like to add a 20% headroom, which would give us 51.84 watt. We have this on a 90 watt power supply, which is perfect, but anything over that 51.84 watt would be perfect. So our 60 watt all the way up to our 600 watt power supply would be great to power this length of flex LED strip. Now that we've wired up the Cinque LED dimmer, we will go through the menus and look at all of its features. To set the address, press the Enter button. You'll see that the screen is flashing. This means it's ready to accept a new address. Press the Up button or Down button to arrive at the desired address. Once you've selected the address, press Back to accept the change. Now the screen has stopped flashing. Press the Up button and you'll go to the next menu. In this menu you can pair up channels to be controlled on the same DMX address. For example, if you wanted to control all 5 channels from one DMX address, you can do so. Its default is to 05, meaning it will require all 5 DMX channels to control all 5 DMX channels. Please refer to the manual, which is available for download on our website for more information. Press the Up button again. This is the bit selection menu. You can select between 8 bits and 16 bits. The difference between the two is the amount of steps of dimming. 8-bit allows you to have 256 steps of dimming per channel, and 16-bit allows you to have 65,536 steps of dimming. Press the Up button again. In this menu, you can select the pulse width modulation frequency, or PWM for short. This is the way the controller dims our constant voltage LEDs. You can select between 500 Hz all the way up to 30 kHz. You can do this by pressing Enter, then using the Up and Down buttons to select which frequency you want. Press Back to accept. If the LEDs will be seen on camera, we recommend the PWM frequency to be 7 kHz or 14 kHz for most camera settings. You will have to play around with the setting to find something that works for your setup if you're seeing flickering on camera. The next menu is your gamma curve menu. The gamma curve changes how many steps of dimming are assigned to the low end of the dimming curve versus the high end. This is useful if you want more control of the LED when they're turning on the low end versus on the high end. The next menu is the decoding menu. This menu gives you more control over the 5 channels and works with the second menu, the Channel Assignment menu. Please refer to the manual for further information. The menu settings in the Cinque LED dimmer are all interconnected. For example, the decoding mode, DP mode, will affect the bit mode, BT mode, depending on what your settings are. So let's say you want to have high resolution dimming. You would want to be in 16-bit mode in your BT mode. But in DP mode, you want to choose your DMX configuration with how many channels it is actually going to take up. For example, in DP 1.1 and in 16-bit mode, all of that additional 16-bit programming will be done inside of the Cinque LED dimmer. But in 2.1 decoding mode, it will take up a full 10 channels of DMX and give you true DMX dimming at 16-bit. To figure out what settings work best for you, you'll want to experiment and go through the menus one at a time. The last menu setting is called Run1. If you do not want to control the LEDs with DMX, or you do not have a DMX console handy, you can set it to Run2, which is also known as manual mode. This is mostly meant for testing the connection, but can also be used for a variety of things. Just like before, press the Enter button and select Run2. Press back to accept. Now enter Run2 mode. To do this, you must power cycle or shut off and then turn back on the Cinque. Upon powering it back up, you will notice that the menus have changed. Going through them, the first one is P for program. There are 31 pre-programmed options. To set a different program, you use the same steps as before. The first programs are just solid colors, and then we get into color mixing and fading in and out. Only RGB is affected in this menu, or channel 1, 2, and 3. The next menu is S for speed of the color mixture and fading. You can select a speed from 1 to 9, 1 being the slowest and 9 being the fastest. The next menu is menu B for brightness. You have settings from 0 to 8. The next menu is manual control of brightness over each individual channel. You can set the level from 0 to full of each channel, and it'll hold the look. After that, we're back to the main Run menu, and we can go back to DMX mode or Run1. To do this, you must follow the same steps of how we entered Run2. In this example, we're going to have the DMX address set to 1, the channel assignment set to 5, but we'll set the decoding mode to 7.5. In this decoding mode, it takes up 7 channels. Channel 1 through 5 are your LED dimmers, channel 6 is a master dimmer, and channel 7 is for strobe effects. Once you've set your color using DMX channel 1 through 5, you can dim them with channel 6, the master dimmer. You can also add strobe or pulsing effects using channel 7. Set your gamma above 1.5 and you'll notice you have more control over the lower end of brightness. Set the gamma to below 1.5 and you'll notice you have more control over the high end of brightness. To reset all options back to factory default, press and hold Enter and back at the same time till the screen flashes quickly. Remember when using the Cinque LED dimmer in DMX mode to adhere to the rules of DMX. Do not put more than 32 devices on one line. Remember to split the signal using an opto isolator. And remember to terminate the end of the DMX line. The Cinque LED dimmer is fully RDM capable, but that deserves its own video, which we'll cover on a future date. Thank you for watching this MOS LED tutorial video.